Hello and welcome to another instalment of Lockdown Birding with Birds of Poole Harbour. My name is Joe and today I'll be exploring Whitley Lake and the surrounding areas. As you can see from the vast mudflats here behind me, it's currently low tide, and on arrival I've already been welcomed by 67 bar-tailed godwit, 20 brent geese, smaller numbers of dunlin, redshank, greenshank, and even a Mediterranean gull that's transitioning into its summer plumage. It's pretty brisk this morning, so I'm going to try and keep all this standing around to an absolute minimum. Best viewed from shore and Banks Road, the large and extremely shallow bay is bustling with activity from the likes of kite and windsurfers on the high tide, but becomes equally busy with bird life as the tide recedes. And like many sites here in Poole Harbour, winter is the best season to observe a wide range of species as they exploit the large and sandy seabed. Whitley Lake extends out towards Salterns Marina, where it meets the North Channel, which is the main route for commercial vessels entering and leaving the harbour. Due to the sandy composition of the bay's seabed, Whitley Lake is the favoured feeding area for any black-throated divers that enter the harbour throughout the winter. However, the site is more frequently used by the likes of red-breasted merganser, great-crested grebe and goldeneye. Bar-tailed godwit are nowhere near as abundant as their black-tailed counterparts here in Poole Harbour, but between 60 and 100 barwits can be reliably observed feeding or roosting on the exposed mudflats around Whitley Lake during the winter. If disturbed by the likes of windsurfers or bait diggers, the flock will then move over to Brownsea Lagoon, highlighting the sensitivity of this site. Poole Harbour is a designated Ramsar site and special protection area, which hosts nationally and internationally important populations of species throughout the year. Human disturbance can have a detrimental impact on the energy reserves of these birds, which is particularly important at the moment as we experience harsh, cold weather snaps. So we've seen black-tailed godwit make appearances in our previous lockdown birding videos, exploring Poole Park and Holes Bay. So how can they be separated from the closely related bar-tailed godwit? When on the deck, proportions of bill and leg lengths are important to consider. Bar-tailed godwit have a shorter, more upturned bill compared to their black-tailed counterparts. In winter plumage, barwit upperparts are greyish-white, mottled and somewhat curlew-like, whereas blackwits show uniform brown upperparts, as shown here in the top left window. A longer, more striking supercilium is also notable in all barwit plumages. In flight, the barred tail and wedge-shaped white back makes for easy separation from the strong wing bars and white rump shown on black-tailed godwit. A brief stroll north towards Evening Hill suddenly opens up huge panoramic views across Whitley Lake and over towards Brownsea Island. Scanning from this vantage point could produce any number of our overwintering visitors, and I reckon if you were stationed here a couple of days ago as one of those Isle of Wight white-tailed eagles passed over the harbour, you'd have been treated to sensational views. A short detour off Shore Road lies the small nature reserve Luskin Valley. This delightful little gem is managed by PCP Council and is an underwatched and potentially productive site of mixed scrub and birch woodland. Autumn is undoubtedly the best season to work this reserve, as species such as willow warbler, whitethroat, firecrest and even Dartford warbler move through this site on passage. As I'm sure you can see, I'm struggling to find much shelter here at North Haven, which lies at the northern side of the Poole Harbour entrance. With all the boating traffic entering and leaving through the 300-metre wide gap, you'd be forgiven for questioning the quality of this birding site. North Haven offers a unique set of features that are not found elsewhere in the harbour. This includes the seaweed-covered slipway, adjoining concrete seawall shelf, and the several large, bouldered groins that jut out into the harbour entrance. North Haven is generally considered a stop-off site for birders en route to other locations. It's the only semi-reliable Poole Harbour site to feature overwintering purple sandpiper as they forage on the exposed concrete shelves below the car park at low tide. As the tide rises, small flocks of ring plover, dunlin and sandling roost along the end of the groins, and a dawn or dusk watch from North Haven offers the thrill of watching great northern divers, red-breasted mergansers, great-crested grebes and even long-tailed duck entering or leaving the harbour as they commute between their Poole Bay roost site. Poole Harbour is not renowned for its sea-watching potential, but with careful planning, taking into consideration time of year and wind direction, Poole Bay can feature a range of species that you wouldn't normally encounter elsewhere inside the harbour. The best seasons to watch Poole Bay are during spring and autumn, when strong southeasterly winds force passage migrants closer inshore. This archive footage of the Poole Harbour rarity sooty shearwater brilliantly illustrates the less glamorous field conditions of an exciting sea watch. A healthy dose of dedication to watching the rolling waves of Poole Bay can reward you with all three species of diver, and periods of unsettled weather will quickly produce the likes of gannet, kittiwake and fulmar. Late winter and early spring also sees large auk movements out in the bay, with guillemot and razorbill passing back and forth in the right conditions.